Hello, this is a video tutorial for perspective. We are specifically doing 1-point perspective. You should have a worksheet that looks similar to this one. And the directions very simply ask you to create 9 boxes in 1-point perspective. So we're going to do 3 boxes in column number 1. You can see that it's labeled 3 boxes in column number 2 and 3 boxes in column number 3. In addition, it asks you of those 9 boxes that 3 of them need to have texture on them. So you can make those textures. I think it could be a free block, it could be a brick, it could be carpet, it could be filled with water, but 3 of these that you complete must have texture. So you'll notice already that there is one partially started. We will have done this demonstration in class, but everything is going to be based on this one vanishing point and this horizon line. So you'll see the vanishing point set up in the middle of the paper. You'll notice that there are 3 lines. These 3 lines are called orthogonal lines. Orthogonal means that they're angled lines that go towards a vanishing point. So there are 3 dotted orthogonal lines already set up. I'm going to use my ruler, and I am going to make each of them a little more solid so that it looks more like a box. So again, you'll notice that my ruler is placed on my vanishing point. It's lined up with the orthogonal line that's already there. And then I need to draw what would be the end of the box. Right now, the box looks like it goes on to infinity or to the vanishing point, but we want there to be a natural stopping point so that the box seems a bit normal. So I'm going to pick a space that's slightly far away from what would be the front of the box. The easiest way to do this is I'll put my ruler so that it sits parallel to the top of the box, and I simply slide it back, keeping it perfectly straight and horizontal, and I'll draw what I assume is the back of the box. I'm going to do the very same thing, so I'm going to match the front right side of the box. I'm going to slide my ruler back until I run into the corner of the back of the box, and you'll notice now that I've set up a perfectly sized box. I'm going to do the very same thing here, so that I'm going to take now and create the orthogonals. This one already has the orthogonals. They were given to you. This one I'm going to set up orthogonals, and I'm going to connect them to 3 of the 4 corners of that box. Now we know in reality there's actually one connected to the 4th corner, but because we want this box to appear solid, like a cardboard box or an Amazon box, we're not going to draw the 4th one. We're not going to use our time to do that. So I'm going to set up my orthogonals. I'm going to draw them relatively lightly so that I know that they are done correctly. And then I'm going to commit to them a little bit darker later. So I now have my 3 orthogonals based on that vanishing point connecting to the 3 corners of the box. And I'm now going to draw an end to the back of that box. So I'm going to set up using the left side of the box, the line. I'm going to slide it back so that it remains vertical. I'm going to draw the end of the box. And now I'm going to line back the bottom of this square to make the bottom. So I now have a box in 1-point perspective. So I am not going to do this entire tutorial with you, but I'll give you a few suggestions for what I would do next. So I would probably erase most of my orthogonals that are leftovers so that I can see the box clearly, and then I would set up the next one. So let's do the next one all by itself, sitting right on the horizon line. So this box will look a little different, but we always start, because we are doing 1-point perspective, we always start with a square. So we're going to draw something that is square-like, square-ish. It's not a perfect square because we're not going to measure it, but we're going to eyeball what looks like a square. It is now sitting and on and through the horizon line. So this box will look significantly different than the 2 that we've drawn before. So we're now going to take the corner of the box and the vanishing point, and we're going to line things up to draw our first orthogonal on this square and then our second orthogonal. And because this box sits right on the horizon line, we don't see a top or a bottom. We only see a side. So if I erase some of this, you can now see a box. Or sometimes, because I struggle to see this in perspective, I will sometimes quickly add a little bit of shading or value to suggest the side of the box, and you might be able to see a little bit easier. So you are being asked to draw 9 boxes, 3 stacked in one column, 3 stacked through the center, column 2, and 3 stacked in column number 1. Your job is to have all 9 of them in correct perspective. I'll be fascinated to see if you can figure out what the center one that lands right on the word vanishing point looks like. That one's a little bit of a curveball, but I think you can handle it. So again, all 9 boxes, 10 points. Make sure your name is on it. And I would make sure I double check and reread the instructions because you're being asked to draw perspective on 3 of the 9 of them in some way. Good luck.